Yeah, we are live with you.
Welcome back to another episode of Cyber Talk with Cyber GRC. I am your host Vidya, and today we are diving into one of the hottest topic in governance, risk, and compliance. What's next for third-party risk management, that is TPRM, in 2025 and beyond. I'm sorry. TPRM is no longer just a compliance checkbox. It's about building trust, ensuring resilience and managing AI-driven risk across global supply chain. And who better to decode the future than Love Johar, the founder of Cyber GRC and a seasoned ISO lead implementer who's been guiding organization on practical, uh, on theory, TPRM and ISO framework. Hello, Love sir. How are you?
I'm good, Vidya. How are you?
I'm good too. So, shall we begin?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Uh, To kick things off, how do you see the overall direction of third party risk management heading in 2025 and beyond?
It's a great question, actually. It's a great thought, first of all, that we are trying to understand the shift from 2025 year end, since we are approaching towards the next year. What exactly will be changing in third party risk management perspective? So, this podcast, I think, will be helpful for a lot of people who are watching this, because a lot of new things are coming, Vidya. Like you see, AI is coming, a lot of new things are coming, a lot of new regulations are coming. Like, for example, DPDP is coming, you have EU AI Act coming. With all these regulations coming, there is more and more
Sir, I guess
strictness
your
to it.
mic is not.
Am I not audible? Not audible?
It's fine.
Is it working?
Now it's good.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. So basically, what I was saying, that with the new regulations coming, with the new AI being, introduced, with the add-on AI models, the complexity of things are increasing now, and that is where we need more governance. We need more, more proactive risk assessment on a vendor side rather than a reactive risk assessment. Right now, we are basically in a reactive mode. Okay, we are basically doing the risk assessment, at a reactive stage. But going forward, it will be proactive, because TPRM
Hmm.
is becoming a strategic pillar for all the organizations in terms of business resilience. Right, you can't ignore TPRM. So similarly, by 2025 year end or by 2026, you can expect AI driven risk scoring. That is first thing that you can expect. Okay, where risk scores will be basically defined by the AI model algorithms, and you have more integration with the privacy frameworks, and all the new regulations that they are coming towards privacy, and how they are basically managing all the third parties and how they deal with the data. Because if you know that any data processing that is carried out by a third party, it also has to be regulated, right? So we need to see about all these things which are coming up, and we need to understand these shifts. Yes.
Okay. As we all know that AI seems to be entering every domain. How is it transferring TPRM itself?
See, it's a very good question. And going forward, what will happen is that a lot of time is spent nowadays to study the SOC 2 reports. It's a very long report, 80 to 100-page report. And a lot of time is nowadays spent to understand the contracts of the vendors, third party contracts. But going forward, what will happen is that uh, natural language processing models, NLP models, basically, which are AI models, they will be doing it all for us. Okay, they will basically understand these contracts. They will basically understand, all these reports for us, and they will give us a quick, overview about all these things. So basically, human effort will be definitely reduced. Okay, cutting the time by almost 70 to 80%, I would say. And this will automate the review, like, of software reporting, all the contextual terms, like I mentioned. So basically, this is all the change which you are observing. And also, AI algorithms are very fast. Okay, they will basically be doing it with much more, effectiveness. So this is all the change that you will see with the AI coming into play. And these are small changes. Definitely there'll be more changes as well.
Okay. Now let's talk about regulations. What major regulatory shift should organization prepare for in 2025?
This is a very good question, especially for 2025 as well, and for 2026 as well. Basically, organizations need to prepare for a heavy regulatory, environment, especially around third-party risk. Okay, because you have the DORA Act. There's a act in the European Union called EU DORA. So DORA is basically Digital Operation Resilience Act, right? So basically, this act actually wants you to have strict controls over the ICT vendors, okay? Information and communication technology, any vendors who is providing you these services in the ICT domain, they want you to have proper governance around these vendors. That is the first thing from a DORA Act perspective, okay? So all your third parties you see are being governed here. Secondly, you have the DPDP Act. Again, DPDP Act, again, uh, all the data processors who are processing the data for personal data of the Indian citizens, you have to have proper due diligence of these particular, data processors. Again, it's a requirement of the DPDP Act. So that is there. Similarly, the EU AI Act, okay? Any AI model providers that you are using, any data providers that you are using for your AI models, all have to be completely done with a proper due diligence checklist, and you have to put proper controls on them. So you see that all the regulatory bodies are saying that you are not only responsible for know your risk, you are also accountable for the vendor risk that you have. So basically the thing is shifting now. अभी क्या है, अभी अपने को तो देखना ही है, वी आर अपने तो इसको देखना ही है एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. But whatever organizations are providing us services, for those organizations also, we need to make sure that we are the accountable ones as an organization. So यहाँ पे
Mhm.
थोड़ा सा shift है actually.
Okay. Uh, how will due diligence evolve to meet these expectations?
See, definitely due diligence will always be there, okay? But going forward, this will be dynamic. Like I said, AI will be introduced into many places. Instead of one-time
Hmm.
vendor tiering, for example, in the practical sessions that we do for third-party risk management, we inform the learners how to perform vendor tiering, right? How to classify the vendor into different risk levels. So we do it once. After that, we do the risk assessment accordingly. But going forward, this vendor
Mhm.
tiering itself will be a continuous process, right? Because you can't classify a vendor today in one tier. Tomorrow, that same vendor can become critical for you, right? So that is where
True.
vendor tiering also has to be continuous, right? So these are dynamic things which will keep on happening. Instead of a one-time vendor review, vendor tiering, you have to perform continuous risk-based tiering every now and then, right? And especially for
Yeah.
high risk vendors, okay, those vendors who are dealing with personal data, who are dealing with AI. So these will monitor, basically going through automated assessments. Okay, in these cases going forward, okay, you can't actually take manual assessments for these particular critical vendors. Okay, because this is where the criticality is, and then you have a lot of contracts being made with a lot of ethical clauses being added on in the future. So all these are basically due diligence changes that you will be seeing in the future. More and more contractual terms added from an ethical point of view, from an AI perspective, from a data perspective. All these things you will see in the future. Yes.
Okay. My next question is about ESG. We are hearing a lot about ESG being integrated into TPRM. What exactly does ESG mean?
So basically, ESG is becoming a top priority for every organization now. Okay, it's becoming a board level
Okay.
priority now,
Yeah.
Vidya, because ESG is very important, like you rightly mentioned. Okay, how you are impacting the carbon footprint how your organization is impacting the
Hmm.
carbon footprint is a very important factor now, right? So that is where you want to have transparency about your organization. And similarly, like I mentioned, regarding your third party vendor organizations also, how they are basically impacting the carbon footprint, right? So we need to have proper governance around this. Okay, so basically you need to have proper ESG scorecards where you rate the vendor accordingly as per their ESG scores. And this is basically about global sustainability goals, I would say, because if you want to sustain today as an organization, you need to monitor the ESG scorecard. Okay, it's really important. Yes.
Okay. Moving ahead to the next question is cyber risk from vendor keep making headlines. What's new in cyber TPRM?
This is interesting now. Cyber TPRM.
Yes.
Nobody would have heard about this term also before this podcast. So yes, so cyber related risk related to third party. That is what we are trying to say, right? What could be cyber related risk? For example, any risk related to breach in their cyber security, any breach related to their access controls. That is where we talk about cyber related risk. So basically, in going forward, we are moving from spreadsheets towards a real time intelligence. Okay, so tools will be there. They will basically ingest the feeds and monitor the vendor endpoints in terms of any data leakage, any data being breached. So there will be strong integration with zero trust architecture ZTA. And there will be tools ensuring that the vendor access is basically continuously validated, and there is a risk based approach towards that as well. So basically, going forward from a cyber TPRM, it will be a live pulse checking of your critical vendors, for the entire ecosystem. Yes, going forward.
Many small and mid-sized businesses worry about TPRM that it is too complex or expensive. What's charging for them? What's changing for them?
So that is not the case, okay, because it looks like from a farther end of the spectrum. But however, if you understand the real process of TPRM, it is not very expensive, and it is not very complex as well. Okay, people who do not know how to do TPRM, who do not have an understanding about how to perform it practically. So this is all we cover with the in the sessions, actually, when we actually ask the learners to perform TPRM assessments. Okay, we rate the
Hmm.
vendors, we ask them to do risk assessment on the vendors. That is where the people understand. Okay, this is what is TPRM exactly. Okay, there is a life
Yes.
cycle. There is a life cycle in TPRM. Okay, it starts from the inception stage. Why do you want a vendor? Till the time of the retirement of the vendor, when the vendor is being offboarded from the system. So it's a stage by stage process that we actually walk through in the sessions that we conduct. And it's all practical. Okay, you're working like you're in a production environment in the TPRM session. Yes,
People do enjoy such learning.
they love it.
And this
They
is
love
how
they
we
love it.
can gain. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
My next question is how will the role of TPRM professionals evolve in this new era?
This is a great question. Anybody who wants to work in the TPRM domain for the next 5 years, please make a note of these two things. First of all, you need to understand AI. Okay, how AI models work. Don't be afraid. It's very simple. Okay, people have a fear in their mind that we are not able to understand AI. It's not like that. It's very simple to understand. AI models, you need to understand. Okay, and you need to understand how privacy works. These two things you have to understand: data privacy, AI models. Okay, these two things you have to understand if you want to continue working in the TPRM domain for the next 10 years. You have to understand that there is no if and but now. Okay, because the industry is shifting towards these two things. Okay, so future TPRM leaders will be able to handle any risk related to AI, any risk related to data privacy from a third party perspective. That is what the industry is looking at currently. Okay, so that is where
Okay.
anybody who is aspiring to become a TPRM professional, should start working towards these two areas. Okay, and again, these are very simple things, nothing to be complicated. People think, Vidya, that AI is very complex and all this I will not be able to do. Is nothing like that. It all depends upon the trainer. It all depends upon the mentor. Okay, if you're
Mhm.
getting the right mentor in place, if you're getting a right training in place, nothing is unachievable.
True. My next question is, what key metrics or KPI will define a successful TPRM program in 2025?
So even in 2026 also, I think this question will remain same, and the answer also will remain the same. First of all, you need to weight the vendor as per their criticality, like I already mentioned, right? How much vendors are business critical from a business perspective, right? How much vendors are more critical from a business point of view. Then secondly is that what all vendors do you want to be continuously monitoring all the time, right? These are some of the
Hmm.
metrics. Then other thing is the ESG compliance rate. How are they complying with the ESG? Like we discussed about ESG scorecard, their carbon footprint, right? And similarly, incident rate. What is their incident management? How are they dealing with the incident? Okay, so all these things should be basically appearing in a real-time dashboard sort of an environment, where basically they will help the board members, the executive teams to make the informed decisions about these third parties in the future. Yes.
Okay. To wrap up, if you have to make a bold prediction for TPRM beyond 2025, what would it be?
This is a very good question, Vidya, actually. See, a bold prediction that I would make for 2026 and for coming years is that a TPRM individual would actually have to understand risk not only related to third party now. You have to understand risk related to privacy. You have to understand risk related to AI, because all these things
Mhm.
are there now, are here now. Okay, risk related to sustainability, risk related to carbon footprinting. All these things are here now. You can't hide yourself and say that I am managing a TPRM risk. If you are not covering these three areas into your TPRM risk management, not doing the complete job actually. So that is where the future is heading. Okay, so basically TPRM going forward will be all about data privacy. It will be all about AI model being risk assessed properly. And thirdly, it will be all about sustainability. Okay, these three things you have to understand from a TPRM perspective. That is definitely going to be in the future. Yes.
Okay. That's a powerful vision. It's clear that TPRM is no longer about compliance, it's about intelligence, integration, and trust. Thank you so much for this insight, and I'm sure our listeners now have much clearer view of what's ahead in 2025 and how to future proof their TPRM programs. For everyone listening, the key is to start small, automate smartly, and align with TPRM with your businesses and AI strategy. So, if you found today's discussion valuable, follow the Cyber Talk with Cyber GRC for more deep dives into ISO standard, AI governance, and practical risk management insight. If you want to learn more how to perform practical third party risk management, please get in touch with us for the next TPRM batch starting soon. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vidya.